One time, I was listening to a deaf comedian, and he imitated the sounds of birds properly, and I was like, "What the heck do you know what a bird sounds like?"
Is this your card, sir? I don't know. I'm blind. It's red. I don't know what the color red is, sir. I'm blind.
What's the color?
What is this creepy Olimar thing?
This is beautiful.
Why does this exist?
Alright, let's watch this. This looks like it's Anyway, I say we just get right into this. The people have been waiting for far too long.
This Olimar thing. Yes, please
Alright.
ignore that.
That's me.
Alright. So, hello, everyone watching.
Hello.
This is the part where everyone else is supposed to say hello. Come on, guys. We have a system.
Hello.
Hola.
Alright.
Hello?
So, I guess we'll start things off with traditional. I guess we'll do a rundown of what we're going to be talking about, and then we're going to introduce everyone. Or did we introduce everyone beforehand?
We usually introduce everyone beforehand.
Okay,
this is our first Pikcast since we all got back from the vacation. Give us a moment to recuperate ourselves.
All right,
It's been a while.
So first, let's just do roll call of who is in the call. We have me, JPM Rocks, Josh, hi. We have Crafted Peabody, aka Jordan.
Yeah!
We have Creative Sushi, aka Nathan.
Hola.
We have Shadow Raptor 101, aka Blue Swift, aka Luther. We have Zelda of Legend, aka Wild Thing, aka Breezy. And then, before we introduce I think it's 8th person that's with us right now, we're just going to introduce a few people who have been added to our little group that they couldn't make it to this Pikcast, so we just thought that it would be good to introduce them. So we first have Marty. He's from the Pikipedia IRC. We have N Passant, who's also from the Pikipedia IRC.
I believe both of them are admins.
Oh, both of them are admins? Okay. Well, they're admins.
Sure.
They're our bosses, apparently. We have Pikfan, aka Jake, and he is the admin for the Pikmin Fanon Wiki. And then we have Omega 022XX, aka Joe, who is a member of Pikipedia, and he was friends with Tommy for a really long time. And then we have Yoshi2, aka Yoshi2, because we don't really know much about him, and he's an IRC member. So I think he might be someone who's really new. I haven't seen him around too much.
He helps SBO in the IRC.
He helps SBO in the IRC. I'm an Echo. And then finally, we have our new member in the call with us here. We have Scruffy.
Hello.
Yay, Scruffy!
And we were going to be doing a little interview with Scruffy, because for those of you who don't know, you might not know, we know, Scruffy is really big in the Pikmin community side with original musical compositions, 3D CG art, 2D art, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we're going to do just a quick little interview with the creative brain that is Scruffy. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Scruffy?
Okay, well, I started from small beginnings, and well...
That sounded so amazing with, like, that echo.
It does.
Steve Jobs, calm down.
Well, basically, I am a college student studying music composition, and I'd really like to go into film scoring later on in my life. Like, it's just a passion that I've always had. And my favorite type of films have always been the animated ones, because it's just amazing getting to see a bunch of still images, especially ones that people have made by hand or on a computer, just get played in front of you over and over. That it blows my mind, really. So yeah, music is my first thing, but I've gotten really into computer rendering and animation lately. And yeah, I guess beyond that, my favorite game series is Pikmin, so I thought, why not mix the two together? And I really shouldn't, because my computer can't handle it. My computer really hates me.
Alright, so then I'm trying to think of some other questions. So,
How did you first come to know Pikmin?
there we go. That's a good question.
First come to know Pikmin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was introduced to the second game a really long time ago, back when the GameCube was the biggest thing. Like, the GameCube was the most exciting part of my childhood. And it's become my favorite of the Pikmin series, just because, like, of all the games that I had played up to that point, Pikmin 2 was definitely the most innovative and just, like, the weirdest one. It stuck with me the most. And then, after playing that one for enough time, and certainly listening to the music much more time, we discovered that there was the first game. And of course, I mean, it's called Pikmin 2. It'd be kind of weird if that was the first entry in the series, but yeah, then we were introduced to the first game. And that one's a lot more difficult, I have to say, for me at least.
First game?
The first game, yeah. That one's more difficult for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of trouble with the second game, but the first one, it kicked my butt the first time I played it. And so, honestly, after that point, not only was I really hyped for Pikmin 3, but I also realized that I have a tendency to get really interested in video games solely for the music. Like, sometimes I don't pay all that much attention to trailers for the gameplay. I mean, I do. That's an important part of games, but I really like to pay attention to the music. Like when, for example, the Breath of the Wild trailer came out. Like, the impressionistic music was the first thing I caught on to. That was lovely.
Would you say that the Pikmin music had something to do with why you fell in love with Pikmin?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting, because typically, I really like Pikmin music myself, but it seems like a lot of people don't really praise Pikmin for its music very often.
Oh, I love the music.
I mean, it's great. It just doesn't seem to ever make, like, the top 10 OSTs or anything.
Right.
It's because those people
And,
are scrubs.
something else that bugs me is that, like, people only see Pikmin for, like, the quirky nature aspect. So, like, when they got introduced into Smash Bros., all the music is like music that you hear in like those kinds of environments. You would think that you'd hear things like the boss music, but people are like, oh, people aren't going to think of this music when they're playing Pikmin or when they hear Pikmin, so they put in like this music that obviously is Pikmin music, but it's just not really relevant. Like they put in
environmental noises.
they put in the Garden of Hope.
I was impressed with Smash 4 and the Bingo Battle remix.
Oh
Or
yes,
was
yes,
it Mission Mode
the
remix?
Challenge Mode remix. I did like that. I especially love the Pikmin remix that were made in Brawl. Like I thought that was like the coolest thing. I was actually convinced for the longest time that the Pikmin 2 like Night Comes remix would be like the theme for Pikmin 3. But that was back when Pikmin 3 was just like a fantasy.
And then let's see, other questions. What inspired you, Scruffy, to get into CG 3D stuff?
Probably the work of Pixar. My favorite films come from Pixar. I mean, The Incredibles is actually my favorite film because it mixes like this breathtaking CGI and hair rendering work with Michael Giacchino's like Henry Mancini big band jazz score. Like it's just a match made in heaven for me. But yeah, I keep seeing what Pixar is able to do with each coming year. It just gets better. And I one day was introduced to Blender, which is this open source free 3D modeling application. And I was like, finally, I can do what amazes me so much when I go to the movie theater. And it turns out it's a lot more complicated than that, but essentially, you can make whatever you want. It's really humbling, but it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Conducive. It's really conducive to just raw creativity. If you have an idea, you can really quickly get it onto a 3D space.
Should I put the definition of conducive up on the screen?
Yes, because
Doesn't that mean something to do with
I
electricity?
have quite literally never heard that word before up until this time.
Conducive?
Yeah, doesn't it mean like something with electricity?
That's conductive.
Oh.
That's conductive.
Conducive means making a certain situation more or outcome likely or possible.
Oh.
Okay, I learned.
So yeah,
Yay.
I guess that's how I got into 3D modeling.
Do you ever
Very
feel like a plastic thing?
Oh, there's Kevin. Kevin, we are recording Pikcast.
Do you ever feel so paper thin? Like a honey with
Kevin, if you get us content
one neck from
I'm gonna like
Canaan.
punch you in the ribs.
You okay, Kevin?
So, Scruffy interview. What did you think of that?
That was pretty great.
Kevin is full of greatness.
Oh yeah, we love him.
He's considered to be the 8th wonder of the world.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty full of grapes. I have my own vineyard. Full of grapes.
Anyways,
All right. I can't really think of any other questions. If any of you watching have questions,
I have a question.
Oh, you do have a question. Okay, never mind then.
What do you plan to do in the future?
Man, that's a
It's kind of
question.
it's kind of very vague.
yeah.
But in terms of music and, well, let's just go with music for now.
Okay.
What do you hope to do in the future?
I really hope to head over to the movie making industry and write some scores for film. It doesn't matter what type of film. I'm open to any. I mean, and just go out and publish some compositions. It would be really great to just get that out there and sort of become like a either freelance composer or a film composer or something like that. And also to teach music. I really want to do that because it seems like the perfect thing to teach. It's something that everyone could use in their life, and it benefits like every other aspect of your mind. Like, it's a really good practice. So as far as music, compose, write for film, and teach. Those are the big things that I want to do.
Awesome. And I know the answer to this question, but the viewers don't. Where did the name Scruffy come from?
Okay. I was at this restaurant, and I guess the restaurant's theme was like it was a home set in the 50s. So all the waiters would come around and tell you like you can't have any dessert until you do your homework and things like that.
So basically, you enter the world of Fallout.
That's what I was gonna say.
Kind of. And so the waiter comes up to me, takes a look at me. My hair is pretty frizzy, I would say, long and frizzy. And so he takes one look at me and he says, "What do you have, Scruffy?" And so that kind of stuck. And since then, I've been playing in a couple of bands. One of them is like a blues, jazz blues sort of band. And if you play the blues, you got to have a blues nickname. So yeah, Scruffy has sort of stuck as my blues nickname.
Nice.
Yep. So that's that. I'm
I
Scruffy.
did not know this.
I always
I
figured
did.
Futurama.
I think of Futurama too. I really do.
Yeah, there was no correlation there. I had
Great, now I'm gonna think of Futurama.
I'm not.
I didn't before, but now I will.
I mean, I think of you, Scruffy, first, and then I think of the janitor, Scruffy.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You outweighed a cartoon character.
And that's huge for me
Minor
because I like my
appearances.
cartoon characters.
Yeah, seriously. I wouldn't outweigh some of the cartoon characters I can think of, honestly. So, thank you. That's a big honor.
Also, I just want everyone to know the Scruffy's holiness that is what's making his voice sound like that. He just naturally sounds like that because of how awesome he is.
True though.
Good.
Like if it was had an echo, it wouldn't be as cool. So.
All right. And if anyone has questions for Scruffy, you can, I guess, ask him in the comments of this Pikcast. You can message him on Pikmin Fanon or on Pikipedia, or you can just ask him on or the forums, or you can ask him on his YouTube channel, where we're putting the plug in here in the video.
He made a good video on comparing sounds in between Pikmin games and other Nintendo games. You should check that out. I like that one.
Very, very good watch.
Thank you.
And I think I'll try to figure out how to use the YouTube key thing, or YouTube card thing. So the link should be at the top of the video right now, if I can figure that out.
So, now that we have our Scruffy interview out of the way, we have next thing, migration from Skype to Discord. Luther, what's the benefits of Discord?
First off, I just want to say we used to do this on Skype, and now we're on a new program called Discord. That should have been obvious from the topic, and also Josh mentioned Discord when he said it's crashed. So basically what Discord is it's a new client that was created for gaming and stuff like that. If you follow any major source of gaming, they probably have mentioned Discord at one point. It's essentially the same thing as Skype, except it's a lot more streamlined, a lot more like easier to maneuver. It lags a whole lot less. In fact, I don't think I've ever encountered any sort of lag while talking to you guys. The only thing it's missing is
Video chat.
It doesn't have screen sharing and video sharing, but it gets updated quite often, and I'm pretty sure eventually it'll have that. Like it was mainly just constantly dropping out of calls in Skype that made us want to use this. Nathan and a couple other people had been using it for a while, and they kept talking about how great it was. So eventually, I was like, you know what? Let's try it. And we came here, and most of us have uninstalled Skype by now. We're never going back. It's real nice. It also, unlike in Skype, where groups can only have up to 25 people. Is it 25 or 21? It doesn't matter anymore.
26.
You can only have a certain amount of people, and then after that, you could no longer make calls as easily. In Discord, there is no call. There's just a voice channel that you enter and then exit, and no one has to initiate it. You just come in, you talk, you leave when you want to. There's no annoying ringing every single time someone wants to contact you. You can turn off notification sounds for individual channels, which is so nice. I love it.
So nice.
So nice.
Sorry, I didn't reference the live stream.
What are you, 5?
Oh no.
It's really nice. And another thing that we love about it is that it's a lot easier to bring people in and bring people out, and it's a lot easier to organize things. And with that kind of works into what I was going to say next. Is this is not confirmed. We don't have any exact date on when this will happen. Hopefully soon, but don't take our word for it. Something we want to do in the future is because this is a lot easier than using Skype, and because it can support a lot more people, we want to create a public Discord channel that you guys, the viewers, can come and join and talk to us about Pikmin. You could recommend things to us. You could request to join Pikcast or ask us anything really. It's still something that's in the process of being thought about. We don't know if we'll do it. We don't know when we'll do it, but we're going to get around to it.
If we do it, we'll definitely mention it in a Pikcast, and we'll probably post something on the forums.
He said doo-doo.
Yeah. We will see about that as that begins to happen. Another thing, and this is something that take it with a grain of salt for now, because I don't know if we're actually gonna do this. But basically, if you remember, what Pikcast used to look like is it used to just have the blue Skype background with the Pikcast logo. Well, we don't use Skype anymore, so we need to think of something new to do. So if anyone has a suggestion on what we could do, or even if you want to just make a little background we could use, or maybe you don't want a background, maybe you want us to start having gameplay or something you can actually watch and see, so you're not just sitting there, even though you're not supposed to sit there, you just listen here. But if you want something to watch, just let us know. We're always open to ideas. We're always open to making changes and accommodations to make the experience a little bit more enjoyable. as long as we get Pikmin information out there, it's worth a shot.
You could just put a video of me playing Pikmin next to it. I'm
Yeah,
sure
well,
that would be
yeah,
great.
Like
It's not even the Pikmin gameplay. It's literally a video of Kevin himself
that's
just
what I'm
playing the game.
Not even have the Pikmin gameplay on screen. It's just Kevin, like with a controller in his hand, looking off like to the TV.
Looking
10
dead.
hours of rhythmic GameCube controller noises.
Yes.
Yo, pass the aux cord. You better not play trash.
Picture of Kevin holding a GameCube controller.
Like 10 hours of rhythmic GameCube. It's just that picture of like Kevin just like jamming out. I feel so disgusted for bringing that meme short, like only like not. It hasn't even been a month since that meme became relevant. I hate myself.
But it was such a good, perfect timing for it.
It
though.
was. It really was. You can't deny
10
that.
out of 10, Diddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's go.
Nitty.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for Discord.
Alright.
I'll bring it up Discord.
So then we'll transition into our little news portion that we have. So first off, if any of you guys remember, we had our live stream last
July.
in July. I was going to say
It was
last
about a
week,
month
but
and
that
a half ago.
Yeah, it was about a month and a half ago, August 28th, which is when we're recording this, and we're putting a timestamp on this because we're professional. Who was playing Pikmin 2?
Yeah, I heard that
Sorry.
too.
Boy,
He
that's the
was
gameplay.
sorry.
Everyone wanted, if you wanted gameplay, that was the gameplay. There you go. Anyway, so we had a live stream. It was, I believe, the Monday. It was on a Monday that we did the live Pikcast, and then afterwards we started our excruciating 8-hour-long first half of a tournament.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And then you know, that was that. Well, while we were there, I believe it was towards Thursday or Friday, towards the end of the week, we actually got more Pikmin information that
It was
week.
literally like 3 days, maybe 2 days or 3 days after we finished recording. And
I
was
don't
like,
know
really?
if literally Miyamoto. I literally don't know if like Miyamoto himself was literally like. He's just like, oh look, it's a Pikmin 3 bingo battle live stream, and he watched it. He's like, oh god, Pikmin 4 is still in the oven, and that's when he basically he kind of just confirmed that Pikmin 4 is still in development, and that
basically
it's
what he
being
said-
put on the back burner.
Yeah, basically what he said is when we're developing games, we kind of have to make a list of how important insert game here is, and Pikmin 4 wasn't very high on that list, so it was kind of put on the side, probably so that they could focus on like the upcoming NX and the campaigns that they're gonna have to do to advertise that and stuff like that. So they probably put it on the side because of that, and just various other things that are going on, and it's probably gonna be back on track very soon.
Hey, it could be that it never really got off track. It could just be that when they say things took priority, they were talking about, oh, that's why it's not going to be on the Wii U like we originally envisioned.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. So people ask, like, what console is going to be on? Because originally Miyamoto said it was going to be for Wii U, or at least he implied that. Well, at the Nintendo shareholders meeting that happened earlier this year, I want to say about like maybe a month or maybe 2 months ago, it was mentioned that the only Wii U game, the first-party Wii U game that's going to be releasing in 2017 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And since Paper Mario Color Splash comes out in 2 months, more like in 7 weeks actually, that pretty much confirms, and then with the NX already coming out next year in March, that pretty much confirms that Breath of the Wild and Color Splash are the last two Wii U games, which means that the development for Pikmin 4 is probably being moved to the NX. So don't hold your breath for it to come on Wii U. It's probably going to be on the NX. We don't know if it'll be a launch title. It'll be nice for it to be a launch title. I really don't see why it wouldn't be. Feel like when the formal NX reveal happens, we'll probably get some more information on that. But yeah, Pikmin 4 most likely moved to NX, no longer in development for Wii U.
Unless in the off chance it gets announced like tomorrow and releases in like
2
3
weeks.
months.
2 weeks.
That's not happening.
The day like this Pikcast goes up, there's gonna be some news or something. There's a pattern now that we're noticing. But yeah, so that's what we have on Pikmin 4. And then Luther is the expert on this. The NX.
Yeah,
Because
for some
yeah,
reason
you
I'm
can
like
do this.
Hackerman from Kung Fury, but with the NX. I don't know why. basically, all I was gonna bring up here is that the NX is a thing, and like for those who don't know, it's Nintendo's next gaming platform. And by gaming platform, I mean their new console. They keep calling it a gaming platform. They keep trying to say it's a new way to play, but everyone knows it's just their next console. Like, literally everyone. Like, you can't even deny it. There's even times when Reggie's accidentally, like, let slip, oh, did I say console? I mean platform!
No, Luther, it's not a console. It's the next Nintendo Entertainment System.
You want to go? I'm going to see you in, like, 40 weeks.
I want to see this happen.
Anyways,
I can get buffed by then.
okay.
Okay, Nathan. You promised me to go to the gym with me too, so.
Nathan, I will throw you into a lake. Like the lake. Yeah, I can't swim in it, but I can throw you in there easily.
You know that episode of Rick and Morty, Luther?
Nathan confirmed for steroids.
Can we like just have like the super like buff like Morty, but with Nathan's face just on it?
No, it was
Please?
Rick and
Summer.
what's her name? Summer. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't watch the show. I need to.
They both got super buff just so they could take out Satan.
it's
Anyways,
gonna give it to
as
you.
I was saying, is that the NX is most likely going to get revealed next month because by then they will only have 6 months left. And you might be saying, well, what if they delay it from March? Well, Nintendo has literally told us at 3 individual times that it's coming out in March, and they keep insisting, don't worry, it'll be ready by March. I promise. Don't worry, it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure at this point they're going to stick with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be stupid enough to be like, don't worry, it's going to happen. Just kidding, it's coming out in December.
February 28th. They're like, oh, yeah. So about that.
So there are currently only 5 games that we know will be on the NX. If you think about it, 6. Here's what they are. We know that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be released simultaneously on both the Wii U and the NX. By the way, I just want to take this chance to say right here, it's a common misconception that Breath of the Wild is going to be a launch title for the NX. We don't know that. All we know is that whenever it does launch, it's going to launch on both the Wii U and the NX on the same day. They never said it was going to be ready by the time the NX comes out. It might be. I mean, it'll be. I see no reason why it wouldn't be. Oh, yeah, but we don't know. Another game is Miyamoto's upcoming Mario game, which he hopes to be presentable by next year's E3. All we know about it at this point is that it's going to be using the same engine as Breath of the Wild. Another thing, so at this year's E3, 2 more games were announced for the NX, and those 2 games from third-party companies are a new Sonic game that is currently not named, which is in development by Sega, and it's going to be for the NX, PS4, Xbox One.
And PC.
Is it going to be for PC? Or are you just saying?
Well, anything on Xbox One is PC now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And PS4, too. Anything PS4 is PC now.
Dude,
Yay.
I know, right?
That's new news, too.
That's true.
New news.
PC and Nintendo Master Race. We need to start that trend. Okay, and another game that is going to be on it is the upcoming Just Dance. It has been confirmed to be on the NX as well. And okay, there's a lot of rumors flying around with the NX. I'm pretty sure anybody who knows anything about gaming has probably already learned about them, heard several of them. This particular bit of information, the fact that it is going to come out for Just Dance, tells us a lot without saying anything. The reason I say that is because Just Dance is the kind of game that you play on a TV. You kind of need to play on a TV to enjoy it. So we know that the NX is going to work on a TV. And we keep hearing things that it'll be on, that it'll have a lot of console-like elements and also a lot of handheld elements. Originally, people thought that a hybrid console would consist of 2 interworking. Basically, they thought it would be like if the Wii U and the 3DS could like work with each other. But it turns out what they actually meant is just a souped-up handheld that can also run on the TV. People keep saying, "Oh, dude, it's going to be underpowered," but what they don't realize is that this is a handheld, not a console.
I mean, we have to remember, Legend of Zelda is going to be on both consoles.
Yeah,
so they're not going to release the superior version on the older console. They might be equal, but I mean, it's going to be just as powerful, if not more, than the Wii U.
It really. Also, another thing that we can pretty much confirm at this point is that the NX is going to not use discs; it's going to use cartridges. And the reason we can confirm that is not only because there have been several rumors indicated from reports from manufacturing companies, but the information for the stocking information for Breath of the Wild at GameStop lists it as being available in both disc form and in cartridge form. And we know it's not going to be on the 3DS. So there's that. We also know that the console is probably going to be very cheap compared to what you're normally used to seeing. Nintendo seems to be cutting a lot of corners to make sure this thing is not sold at a loss, and that they can make it very cost effective. And if you've read some of the patents that have been officially registered by Nintendo, which means they're going to be used for something, most likely the NX, is things such as they're using cartridges, which in and of itself saves a lot of money because disc reading hardware is expensive and it's clunky, and it's also kind of outdated by now. We should stop using it. And another thing is that the controller, if you haven't heard about it, well, it's not really the controller. The console itself is most likely going to be handheld. Basically, the general consensus is that it's going to be a smartphone-like or tablet-like, and it's going to have detachable controller halves on each side. That right now has been pretty much confirmed because it's been on a registered patent in the U.S. Department of Patents.
The NX has the ability to shrink your television screen and connect two controllers to it.
No, it is a shrunken television screen.
With controllers attached to it.
No, here's what I thought was really cool. Apparently, the controllers don't actually have any inner mechanics. They are read entirely by infrared, which detects the button presses, which literally means that this is like bare bones. It's like Nintendo is doing everything they can to make sure that they're putting in like the least amount of effective tech just to where it works, but it also won't cost that much, which is really smart because they're trying to pack in as much as they can, at a price that people will accept. Because they don't want it to be like the Wii U where it launched at $300, or like the PS4 or the PS3 that launched at $600. No, that was terrible. In addition to being able to be plugged into the the two controller halves plug into a main unit, which is basically just the screen. It also is supposed to have like a docking station. Basically, how this whole concept seems to work is very similar to. There was a peripheral for the GameCube that actually functioned a lot similar to this. It was like a docking station that you put the GameCube on, and then you could play Game Boy Advance games on your GameCube. Did anyone ever get that?
I never got it, but I had Pokemon Box, and they talked about it all the time, and it honestly was like the coolest thing ever, and it blew my mind. The idea of that, because for like 10 or whatever, 10 years old or however old I was when I saw that, I was like, there's no way that could be possible. They're two completely different things.
Dude, I got it, and it was the coolest thing ever. Like, I love that thing. And just seeing that concept being revisited is like the coolest thing. What were you gonna say, Denevert?
I just said, yeah, I never had that. The only extension I had was the thing that you connect the Game Boy Advance to it, like for Wind Waker and Four Swords.
Oh, the GameCube adapter or whatever. That was cool too.
You guys remember the Rumble packs for Game Boy Color games?
I actually
never had the Game Boy Color.
I had to get
like the Pokemon Pinball. You literally put a AAA battery inside the cartridge, and the cartridge supported the Rumble because the consoles didn't have it.
I remember people talking about that, but I actually did not have one.
I have two games that have it: Pokemon Pinball and some racing game, like Dirt Bike game or something.
Excite Bike?
No.
Oh.
What I loved about the
What
I loved about the docking station is that most of it was just plastic, so that it could fit as like a perfect second bottom for the. Did I just hear a Skype noise? Has someone not uninstalled Skype yet? Are you trying
to not ascended?
Are you trying to trigger me? Who was that? We need to rat them out now. Who was it? Who is it? So we can kick you.
I think it was Breezy.
Breezy?
I think Breezy is.
She sits there just silently. I just want you to know we're judging you now. Anyways.
What? Alright, so next is Pikipedia stuff that Luther put in on the script, and I really don't know much about.
Well, all I really wanted to say is that there's some stuff that that Andre has been talking about that he did on the wiki on Pikipedia. All I really know is, since he's not here, is he's made some some changes that I don't think we brought up in the last podcast. For example, this update that was added on the 24th of June, he says mobile users had no way of reading the tooltip behind dotted underlined text like this, since that requires hovering the mouse. With this new feature, they can now tap the text to get the description. And he also said that a script was installed on the wiki to improve the file upload page. It should be a lot more simpler and more convenient to upload files now. Please.
Oh, thank goodness.
Please forgive us for any image-related glitches in the following days, though. And yes, I understand that, because I remember when I was working on the 10-day run article, it took me like 10,000 years and jumping through like a flame-filled hoop into like, I don't even know what, to finally get that stupid picture up there.
Yeah.
How come it didn't take you 10 days?
Yeah,
It's the 10-day run, Luther.
Yeah, and day 6 was the hardest.
He's going through like the 5 stages of grief, but he does it twice because it's 10 days. Day 6 was the hardest. Day 6 was the hardest because he had to start over again.
Pretty much. I also had to kill the Myroclops and say.
Alright, Scruffy, you wanted to say something?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to add a little detail on how that's been updated. On Pikipedia, it's been added where there's a system that you can use to create the description and categorization of the image. So you don't have to know all of the categories that images have on Pikipedia. You can select from a group of categories, like this is a screenshot, this is concept art, this is not related, and that also works for the image licensing. And if you don't know it, then you can just select I don't know, and it'll be dealt with later.
So, Jordan, I heard you were doing some kind of challenge thing on the forums.
Oh, he actually is swapping over, I think, to either his phone or a different computer or something. Basically, on the forums, Jordan has created basically challenges, I think, for completing the caves. I don't know the exact specific details with it. Hopefully he gets back soon. We'll have a link to it because I'm certain we'll find it. And essentially he's been creating Pikmin 2 challenges that I know that him and Joe have been doing it, but he's been creating some Pikmin 2 challenges. And from what I've heard, they're actually pretty difficult, and I think it's 100%ing the game with the fewest required Pikmin. I don't know the specifics of it. Again, we'll have the forum post link in the description probably, and then maybe here in the video with the annotations or something.
Yeah, so hopefully he can elaborate on that just a little bit more when he comes back.
And then,
if you haven't been very active on the forums, I recommend it. We got a lot of interesting topics, like we talk about unused content in Pikmin 3, we talk about Pikmin 4, we talk about existential crisis, realizing that Pikmin's about to be 15 years old. We question common beliefs about Pikmin 2's endings. We talk about artwork. For some reason, there's a topic on here about Undertale. I know I want to kill myself.
We talk about fan fiction.
we talk about memes!
No, we don't.
Memes! Memes!
No, we don't.
By the way,
We talk about Brittany's love for juice.
and also, we currently have 94 members. We are almost to 100. If you happen to know through 6 random people that happen to enjoy Pikmin, tell them to get over here so we can have 100, and we'll throw a tiny party.
Alright, so I'll talk about the next thing.
Alright, cool.
As many of you may know, and some of you may not be oblivious to, October 26th is the 15th anniversary of Pikmin.
Oh,
Yeah. And that's for the Japanese release. It was released in North America on December 2nd, and Europe on June 14th.
God, I can't believe it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
Okay, I actually talked about this on the forum recently. There are people on our forums who are younger than Pikmin, which is making me go through like an existential crisis because I remember playing Pikmin when I was like 7 or like 6 or however old I was. I think there's people in our Discord who are younger than Pikmin.
Yeah.
And it's trippy as hell, yo. Like, no, stop. Pikmin 2 came out 3 years ago. That's the rule. Came out 3 years ago. It's 2007 still. I'm gonna turn on the TV and see Chowder on TV.
Yeah, so we are in the process of planning some special events to celebrate the
Oh.
15th anniversary, which obviously will come along. Oh, is this news to Josh?
Yeah, this is news to me. I need to get in the call more at night when everyone's here.
Yeah. So we're just talking. We're still in the development phase, but we want to do something special because I mean, 15 is a big number. It's an important number, and yeah. So be tuned for that. October 26th. It's like a month away.
Jordan,
2 months away.
since you're now unmuted, can you explain what your challenges are on the forums?
Oh, well, it's basically the challenge mode from Pikmin 2, except in story mode, where all of the caves have predetermined number of Pikmin that you have to go in with, and predetermined numbers of sprays.
He's basically creating Pikmin Nuzlocke.
In a way.
I wonder if you could make this a mod.
I mean, probably, actually.
You could probably recreate all the caves.
Actually, the easiest way to do it would just be to drag and drop the cave files from the story mode to the mission mode.
Is it the sound of dragging and dropping levels? Luther.
Yes. I understand.
I mean, I'm not saying to be easy,
I understand that it sounds very similar to the sound of playing Banjo-Kazooie, but there is a distinction. I just want you to know that in case you got confused.
Alright, so yeah, we'll be having Jordan's challenges linked probably again in the annotations. We'll have it linked a second time in the video. And then I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm looking at the script. That's everything.
Hasn't been a lot of news lately.
Yeah, but hopefully with the NX coming, hopefully being announced around the corner, that'll just mean that within hopefully the next year there'll be Pikmin news again, and we can get things jump started again.
And who knows if Pikmin 4 gets shown along as like a NX launch title. Whenever they show the NX, they're probably gonna like showcase like what games will be for it. If Pikmin 4 is one of those, you can bet that we're gonna be one of the first people to cover it like immediately.
We'll be doing, like, Luther will be at work, I'll be in class or whatever. I will immediately just jump out of the second story window at my college and just land in my truck and just drive home.
Like okay, literally, I think that like if Pikmin 4 gets like if they announce the date of the NX, I'm not going into work. Like the date that it's going to show, I'm not going to work that day. Like I don't care if like I get threatened with being terminated. They're not gonna terminate me. I'm one of the last 6 employees there. Yeah, I'm gonna be here live for that moment.
Very nice.
All right. So
Luther is living the life of Olimar.
Wait, how?
all right.
Only 2 employees are remaining.
One of them is a complete idiot. All right. So I guess we'll do our little review. So we introduced we've brought up to the light our new members, including Scruffy, who everyone go check out Scruffy's channel. Scruffy is a god amongst men when it comes to the sounds and the audio and the musicalese.
The musicalies and Maries.
Yes.
Yep.
We talked about our migration from Skype to Discord. News: Pikmin 4 is still in development. Yay! And then
Yay!
we talked about NX as well as NX rumors and all that stuff. Talked about our Pikipedia stuff as well as something we're doing on the 15th for Pikmin's 15th anniversary on the October 26th. I got the numbers backwards. And now here we are at the conclusion. So, I guess with that, and I guess Luther can join me now because of the gift I gave him for his birthday.
Yes.
Captains dismissed.
What are you, 5?